kind of a update of what's going on and everything. I'm going through some health issues right now, and I thought that this might be a good outlet for that. Just kind of talking and playing games and stuff, having fun at the same time. Right now, I'm just messing around on House Flipper because my preferred game at the moment, which is World of Warcraft, because, yay, Shadowlands, duh. The servers are down because, they have to do that whole maintenance thing, which is such a pain in the butt, but we always have to deal with it, whatever. So, just kind of hanging out and doing this kind of thing, looking at the different things, getting ready for Shadowlands, trying to decide what the heck I'm going to take up and level. I've got way too many characters to name, so I've got like 5 already that are max level. I've got a Death Knight that's getting close, and a couple others that I'm just kind of piddling around on, trying to decide. I did decide I do not like playing the the Demon Hunter class. I just don't really enjoy it. Like, I know everybody says the Demon Hunters are awesome and they love them and what have you, but I just cannot seem to get that vibe down, so to speak. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again. It'll be like my 6th one I've taken through the starter zone as a Demon Hunter, so there's that. I'm waiting on doctor procedures and stuff to see what kind of things I have going on. They said the C word, which we all hate, that it could possibly be that, but it could possibly not be that. We don't know. We don't know anything right now. We just know that I don't feel good and my body is acting retarded like normal. So there's that. Yeah, fun times, not really. In other news, I'm really trying to decide if I want to be one of the million of buffoons who tries to run out and grab a PS5. The ones that aren't pre-ordered already and bought up on pre-order. If I'm going to do that for the kids for Christmas, because, we're big PlayStation gamers around here in our house, especially as soon as we found out that there's going to be another installation of Little Big Planet, which is like all of our jam around here, but especially Panda's jam. She absolutely loves Little Big Planet. She's been playing it since the first one came out, which means, she was like a little, like barely able to fit her hands around the controller kind of thing. So she's super stoked about that and super excited. One of the things that we're discussing is if we want to try and get a Nintendo Switch, which we can't really talk ourselves into right now because there's really not a whole lot of Nintendo games that we even give 2 shits about, much less a shit about. I mean, you got the whole entire Mario franchise on Nintendo Switch, but I mean, there's other things. There's other things out there besides Nintendo, and I just can't see. Honestly, I think it's going to be the same way that it went with the Wii and all the other Nintendo games, and we're going to get bored with it really, really stupid fast. Like, I can see us getting bored with it in the first, week. And to me, it's just not worth it to spend all that kind of money on something that we're going to get bored with in the first week. Although I have to admit, I kind of want to play Legend of Zelda, but I don't know if I want to play it that bad, because that's a lot of money for, I kind of want to play it. The next thing is we have 2 PCs right now, so that means that when I'm not working all the time or running around doing the things that the kids need me to do for them, or sleeping because I feel like I've run over a turd on a hot pavement, that means that we've got the different PC games that we're trying out. So I've got a few different ones. This is kind of my comfort game, House Flipper. I don't know if you've ever played it or if you've ever checked it out, but it's really awesome. And it looks like November 5th they're coming out with a virtual reality version of it, which I think is kind of badass, and I would love to try it. Haven't been able to do many virtual reality games in the past because I do get really dizzy with my various illnesses and things that go on. And so virtual reality and vertigo are typically a big no-no together. However, I kind of really want to try it just because it's House Flipper, and let's face it, I'm kind of a House Flipper nerd, um, as most middle-aged women, are. And so, I mean, who doesn't love the Property Brothers? Who doesn't love watching all those shows and stuff? So, anyhow, um, the other thing is we're looking at a couple that we just downloaded here recently were that, the old man's trying to get me to try are space engineers, which I kind of messed around with a little bit tonight, but I didn't really go that far. I just did like the beginning tutorial thing and didn't really do a whole lot about it. Then there's the one with where you break the ships apart and stand by. I'm gonna have to ask about that one. What's that one called? Shipbreaker, yeah. So then there's Shipbreaker, which I really tried and I really could have liked it, but the fact that the flippy floppy, spinny winny, oh my god, I'm upside down now and now I can't figure out how to not be upside down, really jacked with my vertigo. So I was like, okay, I'm sitting here at my desktop spinning around in circles in my head, even though I'm not going anywhere, kind of thing. So when you're a person that looks at a ceiling fan and your head starts spinning, not necessarily a good idea to play a game where you're spinning in real life. Just kind of word of advice there from me, your resident spinny winny head thing person. Kind of worried about work. Work hasn't been great here lately. Just because, I mean, like, it's great in the sense that I'm getting to go a lot, or they're being understanding about my like I said, my various illnesses, but they are not, eventually I'm afraid they're not going to be as understanding, and it's going to go the same way it did with the store that the big W that I'm not going to say. They basically, I was so sick that they ended up letting me go because I couldn't drive heavy equipment anymore because I was too dizzy and it wasn't safe. And my doctor was like, no, you don't need to be driving a forklift when your head's spinning constantly. So let's not do that. So anyway, that particular big box brand let me go. They found a way to do it in a way that was legal, which still kind of boggles the mind, but it happens. It is what it is. And being that the world is the way it is now, kind of need two incomes to be able to take care of a family and so forth. So I'm just really worried about being able to help take care of my family and all that kind of stuff. Then there is and before, I get some people like, oh, well, you're playing a game and you're making videos and blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff was done before I started getting sicker. It was stuff that, we didn't anticipate me having these kind of issues for at least another 10 years before my illness progressed, or two, I had another illness pop up. So we weren't really expecting this kind of situation to happen. So we don't know what the new illness is. I've said that. My full-time, I've had it for the last 5 years, and everything stems from this because it's a beast. Illness is called common variable immunodeficiency, and basically your immune system is broken up out of all these little dudes like IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE, and those little dudes do different things to help your immune system work properly. So your general person is gonna, have lots of these little fighters, and they're gonna have their body's gonna make these little dudes that take care of it and attack any kind of illness. One of them controls how many things they attack. Another one controls what all they attack. And another one controls, just different things, like the general things as far as your immune system goes. Now, what happens when you have an immune deficiency is basically the same thing that happens. I mean, the best way I can explain it is, one, you don't have enough, so you're short on what you need. And two, the ones that you have are running around like fire ants that you just stepped in their bed, and they're attacking, they're biting everything they can, even if it's something that's, not necessarily hurting them, something that they need, something that's actually good for them. It's attacking it. So at this point, I now have pretty much had surgery to remove most of what I call the spare parts in the body. I don't have an appendix anymore. I don't have a gallbladder. I don't have my uterus. I don't have any of my my bits that inside that make you a girl. They're all gone. They had to be taken out because what happens is, after so much attacking and stuff, they start causing scar tissue, which eventually can turn into cancerous tissues as well. I had severe endometriosis. I had so many gallstones that it was like, my doctor quit counting. He just was like, I took a picture and showed it to me, and it literally looked like a bag of gravel. My appendix was out when I was 18. I wasn't even 19 before my appendix was gone. My teeth they're not terrible. I definitely see my dentist more than I would like, because I want to make sure that they stay nice. But another thing is, it attacks your teeth, it attacks your muscles, literally attacks everything. So that being said, there is a way they control it. And the way they control it is, I have to, once a week, what I do is something called subcutaneous. There's 2 different treatments that they use for it mostly. The most common, which it's not a common disease. There's like less than 4% of America has it. But there are 2 different ways that they treat it. One is they do something called intravenous or IV immune globulin treatment. And then another way they do it is they do subcutaneous immune globulin treatment. So the IVIG is, you go into the hospital, or you have a home health nurse, or you go to a clinic, basically the same kind of clinic you would if you were having chemotherapy treatments. And they hook you up to an IV once a month that just infuses straight plasma into your body. And they do a high dose that way, and the high dose causes your body to all of a sudden have all this extra immune system. So it kind of calms yours down, but on the flip side, there's a lot of side effects. Now, what I do the subcutaneous, and subcutaneous is the fatty layer that's directly underneath your skin. So when you do subcutaneous or SCIG, what you're doing is you're doing smaller needles, more frequent infusions of plasma. And so for me, what it does is, I do once a week, every Monday morning. Right now is my day, because you can only move it like every 12 hours or so. I do a subcutaneous IV, and it usually takes about, I would say, somewhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on, what's going on and how cold the plasma is and stuff like that. And it has lower side effects, but it doesn't last as long, and your numbers don't quite get as high as they would with IVIG. Both are proven treatments for it. I've personally, like I said, I've been on the subcutaneous for about, I think it's 5 years now. It's at least 4, but I think it's closer to 5 years now, with very little side effects. Now, the thing that we have to watch out for is, because we are infusing straight human plasma. So the plasma is a derivative of the blood, and you go to plasma donation centers, or sometimes the American Red Cross does it. Sometimes, like places like Carter Blood Center and places will do plasma donation. And anyway, so since it is straight human plasma, they do take it, they do, chemically wash it, they do all the things that are supposed to make it safe to go into the human body. That being said, there are still a lot of illnesses and stuff that come through the plasma that are pretty rough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty rough. There's different things that can happen that can cause you to be very, very, very ill from the plasma. One of the ways that I put it is, say for instance, I get plasma from someone who has a peanut allergy. I don't have a peanut allergy or a tree nut allergy at all. But if I happen to get, plasma from somebody who does have a tree nut allergy, and that's 2 different colors, that's going to drive me crazy. And I put that in and into my body. Well, a lot of your allergies are from your immune system. And so what could happen is I could all of a sudden for, that next couple weeks, I could have a peanut allergy. And it's just trying to find the balance between that and then also, work and friends, and there's just a lot of different factors that go into this. Another thing that we hear a lot, and there's a lot of people who have chronic illnesses that have this problem. We hear, you don't look sick. If you were to look at me, you wouldn't think I was sick. You would think I was just, your average, I would say soccer mom, but neither of my kids play soccer. We're all too nerdy for that. You would think that I just look like your average Joe, or Jolene, Joyce, anyway. You wouldn't think that, I constantly struggle with pain and with my body fighting itself to, constant pain, constant muscle cramps, fatigue. You wouldn't think there was basically anything wrong with me. I just look like a normal person. But my body and I fight each other daily. The other thing that I try to remind people is, I'm a mom, but my kids are older, and yeah, I've accepted this a long time ago, but what bothers me about it is that there are little kids, babies, children, teenagers that have their full life ahead of them that have this and are constantly struggling. And they're the ones my heart breaks for. They're the ones that I wish didn't have to deal with this. Some of them are so little, they're still in diapers and stuff, and they're having to have these needles stuck in their little legs or what have you, just to be able to survive, be able to go to school and graduate and anything. But anyway, depression aside, which is another one of my many illnesses. I do have depression and anxiety, obviously, because that's the way it goes. But anyway, so I thought it might be good for my mental health to kind of do this, kind of talk about it, kind of get it out there. My fears, hopes, and dreams. My hopes are that, one, my children have long, wonderful lives with amazing people that just make them smile and laugh and happy. I would absolutely love that. That would be my biggest hope. I don't want them to ever have to experience anything horrible, which I know part of life is they're going to experience some things that are terrible. Ooh, those are fabulously ugly. We're doing those. I know part of life is they're going to have to experience, ups and downs and everything, but I just, my hope and prayer is that they don't ever have to do anything too terrible or experience anything too terrible. My next thing would probably be that my family doesn't stress out too much. I don't want them to be scared and worried and upset. I mean, they've already been champions. I can't tell you how many times that I've just come home and I was drop dead, and the kids are in there cooking, or my husband's in here getting my stuff set up so I can do my treatment to try and get my energy back, or you know, the laundry's going or the house is clean, and I don't think that I could ever get them to understand how much I appreciate that and how much I appreciate each of them for every bit of help that they do and they do for me. Sometimes I feel like a terrible mom because I don't have the capability or the energy or the get up and go to be able to constantly, you know, I can't make the special day lunches with the little notes in them because I'm either at work or feel like I'm half dead. And I can't, you know, be the perfect soccer mom that goes and does the things with them and their friends and makes life so much easier for everybody. I can't. I have to choose my activities based on, okay, am I going to, what's more important, me spending time with them or what's more important, me spending time with them or me, you know, making this special lunch with the cartoon characters on it, or the I have to decide. I have to prioritize those kind of things, and that, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is, and I've accepted that it's part of my life and will be part of my life forever. So there's that. The other thing is I want to try to be a good person. I want to try to make others feel good about themselves, which I don't always succeed in because I do have a temper and I do get fed up with people pretty easy. Part of it's, you know, I don't feel good, and I want people to, you know, not be, for lack of a better phrase, I want them to not be stupid. And so I do get kind of crabby, if I'm honest, about some things. And so it's just trying to find that balance of, okay, I want to be a good person, but on the flip side, how do you do that without, one, people running all over you, and two, you know, being crabby because you don't feel good. So it's just finding all that balance, finding all that things. I have lots of hope. I know I don't sound like it today, and that's just because I'm down about everything that's going on with this new health issue and what it might be and what it could be. And I mean, anytime you get a new diagnosis, it's always terrifying. It's always frightening because it could be, okay, is this the one that's going to be the one that, one, ruins my life to the point that I can't do anything, where I'm stuck at home, not able to contribute to my family in the way that I would prefer to. This is a huge couch that is not going to work. Is this the one that's going to be the one that takes me away from my family? And so, I mean, it's always terrifying in some way, form, or fashion because of these things, because it's like, well, how is this going to work? You know, what's next? It's always kind of a hold your breath and wait for what's next. What's the next diagnosis? I can't even talk. What's the next diagnosis? What's the next what's the next thing that's going to happen that could be, you know, where my life goes from here? What is my life going to look like from here? That's literally the whole thing, is what does my life look like from here? What can I expect from now on? And I think that's the biggest part, is just, the not knowing. I'm very big on knowing what comes next, and when I don't know what comes next, I don't like it. Just like I don't like that sofa. That's terrible. Okay, we're going to do something different. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's where my life is right now, where I am mentally. I don't know that it's exactly a healthy place, but it just kind of happens to be where I'm at right now. I hope to get back into making some videos that are hopefully better than this one, because I feel like this one's going to be utter garbage. But I don't like this couch either. I'd like to try and have some more fun. I've been trying to talk the kids to play more games with me, but they have not been on board with the whole streaming thing. I think I kind of freaked them out a little bit, so I guess we'll just see from here where we're at, where we go, how it goes, and what life is like. So I appreciate anybody who took the time to listen to me rant and watch this. If you want to or feel obliged to, subscribe, and I will try to put out, updates and content and blah 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 as I have them. That is just terrible. I am not a property brother. There's just no way. You know what? Maybe I should make this nook the kitchen. Oh, good idea. Okay. So, we will go from here and we'll see what happens. I'll take care, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.